Yes, what my wonderful people, welcome back to another video on the channel. This is your preview, Liverpool up against Arsenal. We are also going to be doing a combined 11 preview as well, where I give my thoughts and feelings. What is the combined 11? Both Arsenal and Liverpool teams were to do a combined 11. That's going to be out shortly on the channel. But today we're going to speak about the game, my lineup predictions, slots press conference, and my score predictions. So let's get into it for you. So, from what I've heard and gathered from Arne Slot's press conference, the big taking points for me was very much McAllister back in training. That is also confirmed. But Slot did speak about Canate, and I thought this was interesting. He said as follows: I think he has things he can improve. But for him, starting the season with a different fullback next to him is probably the different as well. It's partly adjustments to each other that will also improve more we work together. The more he's used to the right back next to him, the more he's used to other players that are in front of him as well. I think, yeah, he is having to get used to a new right back in Jeremy Frimpong. Because when you think about it stylistically, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Frimpong are not alike. They're not alike. And I think when you go from playing with a right back for 4 or 5 years to then having to play with a new one each week, yes, it is going to be a bit difficult. Yes, you are going to be a bit, different in your play. But obviously, again, some of the performances and some of the moments in games are absolutely unexcusable from Ibrahim Konate, in my opinion. He also said some interesting stuff about transfer deadlines. Newcastle's under number 9, so that's nice for Eddie Howe. He's basically indicating Isak there, which was quite funny. He also spoke on Milos Kerkez, which he's been criticised in recent games. Honestly, Milos Kerkez, in both games, he faced the biggest threat of all the other team. Antonio Semenyo and Anthony Elanga. It's fair enough to say he's had a difficult start, but it's not from him. It's from us as a team. I agree. Milos Kerkez, in my opinion, is actually a good defender. I think he actually can defend. This narrative that we've signed another fullback that can't defend, I simply don't kind of understand it. I'm surprised Slot didn't speak about Tsimikas because obviously he's gone out on loan to AFC Roma. So that's going to be interesting to see what Slot thinks about that. I think that was always going to be the case. Also, Andy Robertson has been confirmed as the vice captain. Some other bits of info. Let's share this tab with you on FootMob. These are the predicted 11s. We'll go through Arsenal's: David Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Rice, Mendy, Moreno. Obviously, no Odegaard, he's injured, and obviously Madueke on the right. So obviously Bukayo Saka's are going to be out injured, and Gyökeres and Martinelli. This is the predicted 11 for Liverpool. Obviously, McAllister has trained. He has had a couple of training sessions now. We obviously know Jeremy Frimpong is going to be out until after the international break. So after the international break against Arsenal, he should be back. And obviously, Batic is out, and Arsenal's still got a couple of players out. Kai Havertz apparently is going to be out for a couple more weeks. Same with Jesus, Saka injury. We don't know the lengths of the likes of Norgard, Ben White, and Odegaard. And this is the form coming into it, well, minus these couple of games because of the pre-season games. But obviously, the 2 games, Arsenal slapping Leeds 5-0. In my opinion, it was expected. Leeds are just bang average. And then Man United, you could say, okay, fair play for getting 3 points because Man United did actually deserve 3 points in that game. And obviously for us, a 4-2 win against Bournemouth and a 3-2 win against Newcastle. Some key insights. Liverpool scored 16 goals in the last 5 minutes, having kept a clean sheet in 13 matches, by the way. 13 matches. Arsenal averaging 3 goals per match as things stand. And obviously Gyökeres, he's on 2 goals. Like TK's on 2 goals. There's going to be a bit of a battle there. But should I get into my actual preview in terms of my lineup for you? My lineup for this game is Alisson goal. I think it's, again, these are very simple situations. Right back is really interesting. Do you go with Szoboszlai? Because I actually thought Szoboszlai looks really natural against Newcastle at right back. I actually thought you can do a job, and again, you can do that. You can pick up traits of what Trent did, the inverted role, because if we need an extra man in midfield to potentially help out, so Szoboszlai's got the energy in the press and press resistance to get in right back and get into the midfield. That's why I'm thinking Slot's going to find many ways to get Szoboszlai in this team, because off the ball and on the ball, this guy is ridiculous. I think Szoboszlai is one of the most underrated in the players in our team and in the Premier League, in my opinion. I don't think he's appreciated enough for what he does off the ball. For me, at right back, now it depends on Conor Bradley. How many training sessions has he had? We don't know as it stands, but we know he is back in training. I think he's going to go Szoboszlai at right back. I do. At left back, I think he's going to go Kirkes. Still a couple of people mentioned potentially Robertson with the experience, etc. in this game. But yeah, I think you still have to go with Milos Kirkes. At centre backs, it's going to be Virgil van Dijk and Canate. I mean, Gomez potentially, but again, he's not had many training sessions. And obviously, Giovanni Leone, are you going to throw him in against Arsenal? No. And obviously, the Gahey deal isn't over the line as it stands. And the reason why I'm putting Szoboszlai at right back is because Alexis McAllister comes back in for me, and then partners alongside him will be Ryan Gravenberch as the double pivot. I think McAllister, again, is underrated. I don't understand this notion why the fan base are giving him grief. You guys have to remember, right, with Alexis McAllister, since 2022, when the World Cup has been, he's not had a break. He's not had a break. The World Cup, Champions League, Premier League come straight into Liverpool, 2 back-to-back full intense seasons at Liverpool. You know, it's only really this summer where Alexis McAllister has actually had somewhat of a break. At right wing, it's going to be the king, obviously the player of the year, Mohamed Salah. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Off the left, I think it's going to be Cody Gakpo. So, a couple of people mentioned, do we bench Verts for this game? Sorry, no. Not having our £100 million signing on the bench after 3 matches. Simply no. And then up front, it's going to be Hugo Eke. TK, that is my team. Let me know what your thoughts and feelings are on that. As a team, I like it, and just writing down my score prediction for you. But look, I think it's going to be an intense battle. I actually think it's going to be a boring game, hence why my score prediction is Liverpool to win 1-0. I think we're going to finally keep that clean sheet. I feel like, you know, players like Gyökeres, etc., Van Dijk and Konate have come up against players like him before. You know, stylistically, physicality-wise, I think we just need to nullify their midfield. And I actually think we can win this game because I think pound for pound, our midfield can compete with theirs. And I think our defences are on paper. I think we've got a better goalkeeper, and I think we've got more of a better attack, especially with the options that they have. You know, you look, does Martinelli start for Liverpool? No. Does Noni Madueke start for Liverpool? No. Does Gyökeres probably, I mean, you got Isak coming in soon, so probably not. For me, I think Anfield's got to be alive for this game. I want to see it pumping. I want to see a proper Champions performance, and I think Liverpool are going to put in a Champions performance. I do think it is going to be a boring game, though. I think this game has been hyped up as a 3-2 classic, a 2-2 classic. For me, I actually think it's going to be one of those games where both teams, it's going to be like a boxing match for 12 rounds, where it's like 2 Alexander Usyks against each other. They're going to just try and figure each out and try and beat him by a goal. I think there's going to be a goal in this match. I think from set pieces, we're actually good from set pieces as well. I think defending from set pieces, I think we can be better. I just want to see a better performance defensively, because if it was going forward, scoring goals ain't the issue. Scored 3 against Newcastle, 4 against Bournemouth. It's more about the defensive style of the game. I think if we actually massively improve in this game with the Anfield factor, you know, everyone's still got that good feeling factor. It's coming to the end of the transfer window as well. I want to see a vintage Liverpool performance, and I do think we are going to get that. But look, if this game is a draw or whatever, I think 7 points from 9 is not bad considering the way we've started this season in terms of the way we've played. But going into the international break, if we can beat Arsenal and overtake them by 2 points, that would be fantastic as well. But that is my score prediction. That is my lineup prediction. We've gone through some interesting key quotes from honest slots. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. We will be doing a match reaction and player ratings and a stream after. That is the content we're going to be doing on the match day content for Liverpool content going forward this season. Watch alongs when we can, but I can promise you we will continue to do the match reactions, the player ratings, and the stream afterwards to chat about it with the chat. But people, thanks so much for watching. Take care and goodbye.